In this video, I'm going to give you guys 4 to 5 things no one told me about Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia before visiting. And I think I said that correctly, Kuala Lumpur. I know in the videos I was saying Kuala Lumpur, but you have to realize by the time I figured out how to say it correctly, I had already filmed 4 or 5 videos, so it was too late. But anyways, some of these things that I list, for some of you all listening, may be obvious. But for me, it's not the case. Malaysia is a country I've heard of, but didn't really know much about. Didn't know anything about the people, religion, food, culture, etc., etc. All this was new to me. I think the only thing about Malaysia is it Bali or is that Indonesia? I think that's Indonesia. Yeah, Malaysia is something new to me. Let's go ahead and get to the video. The first one on the list is Dorian. Now, some of you all listening may not know what durian is, and that's okay. Let me give you a brief history lesson about it. It's a fruit, very popular fruit that's native to Southeast Asia, and it's delicious. That's it. That's all you need to know. The first time I had it was in the Philippines, in a place called Davao City, and I didn't really like it that much, but I was told it wasn't in season. So when I got here to Malaysia, I noticed that durian is super popular here. Everyone says you have to try it. This is considered one of the meccas of this fruit. And so I thought to myself, let me give it one more chance. But one day after my workout, I walked to a stand that was nearby, a durian stand, ordered 1 kilo of it, opened it up, took one bite, fell completely in love with it. If you haven't tasted this, let me go ahead and explain what happens when you bite into this. First, the sweetness from all the sugar hits you. Then next comes the fattiness. Durian is very, very fatty. And then right after that, the bitterness hits your tongue. So it goes sweet, fatty, bitter. And also the texture. It's very creamy, which can throw some people off. One thing I didn't know is that there are different types. I just thought there was one, but nope, there's a variety. And last but not least, let me point out that Southeast Asia is known for its affordable, inexpensive prices, especially when it comes to fruits and vegetables. So you can go to a market and just grab kilos and kilos of fruit and still only pay a couple of dollars. Well, when it comes to durian, that's not the case. This is actually one of the more expensive fruits in Southeast Asia, if not the most expensive. I realized this the first time. When I bought a whole kilo, I thought the person overcharged me. I was just thinking, man, he got me. It's my first time. I'm a tourist. But then as I walked around the city, I realized, oh, wow, actually, no. The price I got was really good. There are way more expensive prices. So all in all, I would say when you're in Malaysia or just Southeast Asia in general, definitely give this a try. It's either a love or hate relationship. You'll never meet anyone in life who says, oh, durian, it's okay. It's aight. No, they're either going to say, I love it, or like the people in the comment section of this video, they're going to say, oh, I hate it. Next up on the list, we have the Malaysian cuisine. Now, I'm going to be honest. Before coming to this country, I didn't know much about the foods here. I mean, I never really heard anyone speak about it, aside from South Africa, because there's a Malay community there, but they don't count. Excluding them, never really seen it. So when I got to Malaysia, I didn't know what to think. I went on a food tour and man, was blown away. The cuisine here is made up of many different influences. So it sort of takes the best of the best from other countries and just incorporates it into its own food. And it's just, man, it's amazing. Just keep in mind that they like spicy out here. I thought it was just China, Thailand, and India that like spicy food. Nope, Malaysia. All right, so that caught me off guard as well too. And from what I was told, because I mainly stayed in Kuala Lumpur, the actual foodie hub, the food capital, is supposed to be another place. I believe it's called Penang. I think that's what it's called. If that's the case, my next trip, I need to go there. Since we talked about the different foods, let's talk about the different neighborhoods. Now, this caught me off guard because when you get to Kuala Lumpur, you're going to see skyscrapers, high rises everywhere. But if you look close enough, there are different areas, different neighborhoods that have strong influences from each of these different ethnicities. So there's a place called Kampung Baru, old traditional Malay village right in the heart of Kuala Lumpur. Most people probably don't even know it exists. It hides behind all of the skyscrapers and towers. If you're not heading out deeper into Malaysia, you can go to this neighborhood to get a feel of the traditional Malay vibe from back in the day. And if you're watching this right now, I'll say go as soon as you can, because from what I hear, the government, or at least some people, are eyeing this area to develop it because it's prime real estate. Again, it's in the center of the city. And so someone was saying that although the people may not look rich, they own rich land. Just keep that in mind when you're walking through the area, that The people working there, if they wanted to, probably can become millionaires or 100,000aires overnight. Other areas include Chinatown. Now this place you're probably not going to miss because it's a popular neighborhood on the tourist route. Most guides and hotels will recommend you to visit this area. But as it states, it has a large Chinese influence. So there are many restaurants, walking streets, the hidden alleyway that used to be a red light, drug, gang affiliated area. But now it's been renovated. And so many of the brothels and opium bars were turned into regular bars and ice cream shops. And then on the walls, they have street art that tells the story of some of the people that used to live there. And last but not least, you have Brickfield, aka Little India. It's going to have more of that South Asian Indian influence. It's not a huge area. Most of these areas aren't, but they're jam-packed with a lot of culture. You're going to hear the, what's it called, Bollywood or something like that? What they call it in India? Basically, you're going to hear the local music. The spices are going to be in the air, and the vibe's going to be lovely. And last but not least, this point is going to be for the fellas listening. So for all the women out there watching, I'm going to give you gals some time to go ahead and exit out. I appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. But the last point is going to be for the fellas. So if y'all can go ahead and leave, please, that'll be much appreciated. I'll give you a couple of more seconds. Okay. Now for the fellas listening and then the nosy ladies who are still here, let me go ahead and say that out of all the Asian countries I've been to so far in this region, I will say that, you know what, let me start by saying this. In Malaysia, I just got done talking about that you had different groups. So for me, I can't tell who's a tourist or who's like Malay, who's from Malaysia. There were times where I missed, a person from Bangladesh for being a Malay. I needed help in one of the grocery stores and he didn't really speak English. So I put out the translator, put in Malay, and he looked at me like I'm from Bangladesh. I was like, oh shit, my bad. I don't know. I don't know what a typical Malay person looks like. So I'm saying all this to say that when it comes to the ladies, the women, the most voluptuous women I've seen so far in this region has been in Malaysia. Overall in my life, the most voluptuous Asian woman I've seen has been in the United States of America. That's hands down number one. Probably because of the diet and stuff like that. But outside of the US, Malaysia is number one for me so far. But again, I don't know if they're tourists. I don't know if it's the diet, maybe all the nasi lemak, the tea that they're drinking out here. Maybe they sprinkle some special herb in the tea. Or you know what? I think it's the Dorian. It might be the Dorian. All right. There's a special Dorian from Malaysia called Musang King. So it's probably that. So we need to get some Dorian and ship them off to, I'm not going to say the countries, but we need to spread that Dorian around. But even the ones that I believe have a Chinese background, I was like, wow. That's why in one of my videos, I said, hey, what part of China are the women here from? Are they from Chongqing? Because if anyone's been to Chongqing, China, it's a little different out there too. They have a lot of mountains. I'm guessing because they go up and down the hills, It's like a squat workout. And then shout out to the South Asians. Very attractive women out there as well. Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India. I don't know which part they were from, the ones that I saw, but lovely. But overall, I just want to bring up that point. Just random point that caught my eye. And again, I want to say that I don't know if they were tourists. They could have been tourists from the Philippines or something. But to conclude, these were the 4 things no one told me about Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia before visiting. I enjoyed my time here. Definitely one thing I'll say I miss is the two things. Well, actually one thing because it's the same, but the food, but specifically the durian. I'm in another country and I can't find it right now. It's very difficult. The durian is probably the thing I miss the most. Man, just thinking about it. Yeah. But anyways, some of these things may have been obvious to you because you're familiar with this country and this region. But to me, as I travel around, there are some countries just don't know much about. So I like to share those experiences and my thoughts with you all. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope that has helped you. And I'm going to catch you guys at the next one. Deuces.